Hey everyone, Vlad here. Today I'm going to be sharing with you some camp building tricks that are either still working or workarounds for broken mechanics after the January inventory update. Let's jump on in. So I'm going to start today's video with the merged items trick. Now I've gotten several comments on some of my older videos, people asking if it still works. And the answer in short is yes, it still works. So I'm going to show you here with two different versions of these shelves and some different, camp items that you can place that are under the floor decor values and categories. Now, just to note that not everything will work. Like there are some tables and things that will not sink into the ground and allow it to do this jump and merge the items that are sitting on top of the object. So you still have to find a location where things sink into the ground and then place it and then kind of just nudge it along as it does. But the reason this works is because the item that everything is placed on top of jumps to the top of the ground, and you will find certain camp items don't do that. Now here's another method of merging items, and it involves the flamethrower. I've set up a little workspace for us, and I have the stash boxes set up, and we're going to attempt to merge this camp grill inside of it. Now watch, this works just fine on the larger of the two. I can merge my object, and note that if you go to move one of these objects, it's going to leave the other one sitting in place. They're not like fully merged, as to one item. Now notice it's not letting me do the smaller one, and this is just to show you that it doesn't work with every object. So you're going to have to play around with it, figure out what works for you, and put it in your camp. Work around those type of things. Now, something that was broken with the most recent, well actually not the most recent update, it's been broken since the Season 3 update, but it continues to be broken with the inventory update, and that is that we can't place poles on the second floor, and we can't place these railings on upper floors either. So there is a workaround. They are related, so I'm going to kind of show you them at the same time. And it involves using walls and roofs, and the roofs essentially are going to add that support that will allow us to place those items on these upper floors where it wouldn't before. So notice that for the railings, I have kind of stacked a floor on top of a roof, and over here for the stacked poles, I'm just using the roofs. And you can kind of take this as far as you want with the trick, but you're gonna have to build walls and roofs to kind of support that pole, at least while you're placing it. Once you've done placing everything, you can remove those items and leave just the poles in place and go from there. But you are going to have to, at least at the beginning, have those roofs down in place. And before I remove everything, let's go ahead and get these railings up on top of this floor here. Notice now that I have that roof in place and the floor, it allows me to place those railings. I can remove the floor and roof all together, which leaves some floating railings. Let's put our floor back. But there you have it. We have our stacked poles and we have our railings on the upper floor using this trick. Now, building on top of our stacked poles, we can continue to place these stairway gantries and stack them for stacked stairs. And it is a little bit finicky. I did notice that I have to remove the supporting pole once I get my gantry placed so that I can place the one below it. But you may have to play around with this. Something to note is that the stairs will not snap to the side of the pole where your roof was. Remember, I put the roof on the front end of that pole to get it stacked. Now that I'm trying to put these gantry ways down, it will not place that gantry on the front end of those poles. So keep that in mind. Strategically place where you want your roof so that these gantries will place where you want them if you are intending to stack them. But there we go. We have stacked stairs Now we're going to build a little bit onto our pole thing. Now I have blueprinted stacked poles, and you'll notice that now that I have a roof in place, I can take this blueprinted set of stacked poles and place them anywhere. You may have to fight a little bit with the snapping that takes place, but you can get them to place with that blueprint anywhere on that foundation as long as the roof is in place. So keep that in mind. And then another variant here, we can take the same set of stacked poles and we can get it to place through the roof and into the ground. So if you're trying to make it look like these poles are going into the ground for supports and you don't want to have a foundation underneath, you can use this trick. And I had to play around with it a little bit, go to another one of my blueprints, and the thing about this one is that the placement never turns green, or with this update they never turn blue for you to know that it will place. You just kind of have to press the button and know that it does place, and you can kind of see the results here. It never turns the correct color for placement, but it does place using those blueprints, and I can remove my roof once they're in place and have my stacked poles going through the ground. Now you have to keep in mind you can't build upon these, so if you want to make them taller, you're gonna still have to use the roof trick to get them to go taller. Alright guys, so that is the camp tricks I wanted to share with you today. Those are probably some of the most used ones or most requested ones that I had heard of. If you have any other ones, feel free to let me know in the comments, and we'll cover those coming up soon. Thanks for watching.